much is that doggy in the window? The one with the waggly tail. How much is that doggy in the window? I do hope that dog is for sale.
See? We found PopPop at the airport. Hey! You're in Albuquerque.
Albuquerque, yes. Good to be here.
So excited to see you.
Yeah, good to see you also. Yeah.
Hey, Megan's picking us up.
Yeah.
Hey, good flight.
Where are we going now?
To Mom and Dad's house.
Okay.
Ah.
Sitting in the front or the back?
I'm gonna have a, well, yeah, we'll actually have you sit up in the front, PopPop.
Yeah, that's fine. I can sit back there.
Right here. Right here. And here you go.
Okay, thank
Your
you.
coach awaits.
Hello.
I was thinking this morning, when I remember the farm and I think about the basement, I generally think about the play area that the children usually play in.
Yeah.
And I often don't think about the area where we had the canned vegetables and where you could go around. There was the shower and the washer dryer, and
Wow.
I was really remembering, you know, the laundry line where you'd hang up your laundry downstairs, and the TV where, you know, we'd get our VHS tapes and we put them in and sit down there and, you know, watch something on the TV downstairs.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. What a memory.
I was remembering that this morning.
Again, I've got to drift through. I could not tell you, but you're telling me, so now it all comes to detail.
Right. I always wanted to jump down that little laundry chute, though. Never did, but I always was like, I wonder what it'd be like.
Yeah.
Because at the top of the top of the stairs, as soon as you like open the basement, there was like a laundry chute to go down to the bottom, because that's where the washer dryer was. So you just threw it all down there. You know, it'd go right into the hamper. So when you're ready to do the laundry, it's all downstairs for you.
Yeah. Yep. In fact, you know, now that you say it, but again, I don't remember that, but I do remember it now. That the laundry chute was there.
And you were the one that built that.
Yeah.
That was pretty ingenious of you.
Yeah, that was because I worked in Matawan Lumber, and so there was some construction company and also lumber company, and so you know, you go in the morning and you say, how do you do this? How do you do that? You know, so far as building and what have you. And so, you know, he told me so far as the rafter is concerned. So far as the rafter is concerned, how do you know how much the cut is? And so, you know, they were telling you do this, you do that. And so I built the house and just by myself there. You know, then my father helped a little bit there. But just interesting.
Smart guys.
Well, you know, again, you ask these guys that knew what I was about to tell you, and so you can picture what they're talking about.
And then sometimes you went on the weekend when it was closed.
Well, they allowed me because I did, yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I did
Build your cabinets.
I made the cabinets there, and so you know, they had the craftsmen that were there, and so I'd say, how do you do this? How do you do that? And so that was when Knotty Pine just came out, and so this would be plywood. So I was able to buy the Knotty Pine and make it. Oh, there's Charlie there.
Charlie Chan.
Charlie Chan. See, that's before your time.
Now that reminds me, Mr. Chan, what confusion says. Confusion says that you can fool most of the people some of the time, and some of the people most of the time, but you can't fool all the people all the time.
No, Birmingham. No, not confusion. Confucius say that.
Oh, no, Pop, you're both wrong. It wasn't Confucius. It was Abraham Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln was disciple of Confucius.
Is that so? I didn't even know that they knew each other. Did you, Jimmy?
No, I didn't. Did you?
No.
Don't sit under the apple tree with anyone else but me.
1928. This is stuff, getting ready. This is stuff on the truck to go to market, and this would be a Model T, and so that's in there. This is the Apple House I was talking about before, and so this is all underground. So this was like the bottom level, and then the top of this was a building where I set it on fire. What happened was. On this building, you had to keep the, whatever apples you could sell, and then you'd have hundreds of bushels of apples that you'd be picking them, and it'd be more than you could sell at that time. Mm-hmm. So you pick them in September, and October, November, they would be in there. It's a cold storage, and so they would be in there, and so like I say, that would be 3 sides was dirt to keep it cool. The front was open, so you could get into it. Mm-hmm. And then what my father did at night, the way you kept it. This is the back of the Apple House, where we had the apples stored in here.
You never told me how you set that on fire. You skipped over that part.
There was the Apple House. There was three sides of the Apple House, which you don't see. It's 3 sides of the Apple House was underground, and so what you did was you would pick the apples probably in September, but there were so many apples, yet hundreds of bushels of apples, you can't get rid of them all at one time, and so they put them into storage, and so it was you didn't have refrigeration then, and so you had 3 sides. Of this was underground, and then the front side, which would be coming out here, you could have someplace that you could get the truck in there to load up. And so on top of that, you had this underground thing, but on top of it, you had an extension of the building, so there was a second floor. The second floor was storage, and so we would make, you make hotbed, you'd make tomato crates. And tomato crates, my father would buy, you'd have slats, and then you'd have the ends, and so I'd have to go up there, 10 years old, go up there, and so you'd be nailing, making these crates. You have all these pieces, make the crate, put it over there, put it together, and so that's what I would be doing. And so this would be probably in March, something like that was on the colder side, and there was a little potbelly stove there. And so it was, it was cool, and I figured, well, I'm going to build a fire. And so I put some wood in there and start the fire, and it wouldn't go. So I figured, well, let me get some, let me start from scratch. I'll put some kerosene in it, and then I'll start from there. But there was a live ember in there, and so I threw the kerosene out, and the Apple House is on fire. And so the Apple House is on one side of the road, mm-hmm. and the house is on the other side of the road. So Keo and my father are eating lunch, and so I'm running over. The Apple House is on fire! The Apple House is on fire! And so my Keo and my father, everything was like burlap bags. So they would take the burlap bag and then beat the fire out that way. And so while they're beating the fire out there, my mother is also rewarding me with a razor strap.
Oh.
So, yeah, because I set it on fire. So that's how I set the Apple House on fire. And, it looked like the fire was totally out. Let's start from scratch. Put some kerosene in. We can get it from start. But we weren't starting from scratch. We were starting from the second step there as this thing caught on fire. In fact, the roof, it was always damaged. Mm. And then later on, I had to replace the roof on the Apple House there. It was just the ceiling, because you had an A roof, and that was too much there.
So at what point did you stop doing the apples? Because I don't think we were...
Well, my father, while he was alive, everything was mainstream, and then after he passed away, then it slowed down. Mm-hmm. And so we had apples, probably into the 80s we had apples, but not to that extent. Okay. Because the trees were getting old and what have you. In fact, that one picture of Christian driving the tractor, that is one of the trees that had died, and he's towing it away.
Let me call you sweetheart. I'm in love with you. Let me hear you whisper that you love me too. Keep the love light glowing in your eyes so blue. Let me call you sweetheart. I'm in love with you.
Olivia, how big you've gotten. So it's she's 6 months, so that was 5 months ago?
Nope, it's 5 months.
Oh, she's 5 months now.
5 months now.
So it would have been four because you were here. She was 2 weeks old when you came.
Yep. She's been waiting for some Lone Ranger.
A fiery horse, a speed line, a cloud of dust and hardy hail, silver, the Lone Ranger.
Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. You can't be working because school is done already, and so you're out gallivanting wherever you're going with the kids and everything like that. So, okay, talk to you another time. Just wanted to say hello, no big problem. Okay, love you. All right, bye now.